Good evening, friends. We start tonight with Russian President Vladimir Putin responding to allegations of election meddling and setting the legal record straight on indictments passed down on Russian citizens. Putin sat down with NBC's Megyn Kelly and firmly stated Russian citizens will not be extradited to the United States for prosecution.
Never. Never. Russia does not extradite its citizens to anyone, just like the United States. Does the United States extradite its citizens to anyone?
For more on this, and also Putin was clear throughout the interview, the United States needs to follow legal protocols and present Russia with clear evidence hacking or any meddling took place.
With all due respect for you personally, with all due respect for Congress, you must have people with legal degrees. 100% you do. And people who are well educated who must understand that we, Russia, cannot prosecute anyone if they have not violated Russian law. If you don't have a legal degree, I can explain to you.
I do.
Then you have to understand what it takes is an official request to the General Prosecutor of the Russian Federation. Give us a document. Give us an official request.
You said that the last time, and now I'm back with an indictment.
This has to go through official channels, not through the press or yelling and hollering in the United States Congress.
Kelly also pressed Putin on his recent State of the Nation speech, where the Russian military was showcased with state-of-the-art ICBM technology. According to President Putin, these weapon systems are fully operational while undergoing fine-tuning.
As a matter of fact, every single weapon system discussed today easily surpasses and avoids an anti-missile defense system.
But you've tested it?
The test was excellent. Some of them still have to be fine-tuned and worked on. Others are already available to the troops and already are battle-ready.
For the record, right now, do you have a workable ICBM that's powered by nukes that you've tested successfully?
All of those tests were successful. It's just each of these weapon systems is at a different stage of readiness.
For more on this, we turn tonight to Daniel McAdams. He's the executive director at the Ron Paul Institute. Dan, nice to have you with us tonight. What do you make of Vladimir Putin's reaction to the legal wranglings that have been going on with the Mueller investigation?
Well, it's become quite a circus, hasn't it? These 13 people, some of them hadn't worked for the organization during the U.S. campaign at all. They'd left before. Most of the ads were taken out after the campaign itself. It's an absolute farce, I think, the whole indictment. Yet, of course, you have Megyn Kelly acting as if it's something set in stone. But, you know, where is the, an indictment, as you know, Ed would say you can indict a ham sandwich, So I think he's absolutely right to say, where is the evidence, where is the proof that he had any connection to the Russian government anyway?
What are the legal protocols that Putin is talking about? He obviously gave an example that the United States doesn't send anybody to be prosecuted overseas. That's one thing. But what else was he talking about from what you can understand?
Well, I think he's talking about there must be a legally actionable document that they broke the Russian law in order for them to be indicted or the equivalent in Russia. They won't be extradited to the United States, and I think that's the entire idea of the Mueller indictment anyway. He knows there's zero chance of a trial, so he gives a huge propaganda victory to the people who continue with this insane collusion farce without ever having to prove any of these allegations. As you know, an indictment is just allegations. You can make up whatever you want and put it in an indictment until it's proven in a court of law. It means nothing, and that's where we are with this.
Daniel, your thoughts on what if President Putin is absolutely 100% certain that these weapons are what they say they are? What does that mean to the United States? Doesn't this put the United States at a military disadvantage and give Russia the superiority in this arms race?
Well, I think it's very unfortunate, Ed, that it's come to this. I think President Putin has made it clear he would rather sit down at the negotiating table. He would rather have the U.S. exit places like Syria, where they are not legally. He would rather have the U.S. not put troops all along Russia's border. He's been saying it for years, and frankly, he was right when he said, you never listen to us, now you're going to have to. And I think he was almost viewing this as a last resort. Look, we are a serious country. We do have a serious weapons program, and you're going to have to listen to us one way or the other.
All right, the military advantage, disadvantage. What President Putin described, no one else on the face of the earth can do. At least the United States mainstream media is playing it. They're mocking it, saying, he doesn't have them. CNN is famous for this. And even Shep Smith over in Fox News last week was making fun of Putin, saying that he was a blowhard in the respect that he was questioning whether Russia had this capability. What is this going to do to the conversation in Congress when it comes to future military budgets?
Well, I think a negative consequence of this is that you're going to see the Raytheons and the Lockheed Martins squealing with glee because they're going to come running to Capitol Hill saying, no, this $700 billion is nowhere near enough. We've got to have double that. The Russians are coming. Look, even they admit they're coming. What I think is amazing is that if the Russians have done this on a measly $50 billion a year, maybe they should come out and sort out our budget for us.
All right. Daniel McAdams, Executive Director of the Ron Paul Institute. Good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.